Continuing on my self-care exploration journey, this weekend I just decided to stop. There was nothing specific. I had no desire to fill my time with just random stuff. I honestly just was tired of pushing. I was tired of dancing to the beat of the drums. I was tired of spinning my plates. I was tired of forcing myself to be head down, nose to the grindstone, just getting stuff done. There was plenty to do. There was just nothing I wanted to do. So all week long, while I wasn't really into it, I pushed myself to be working on my computer and dealing with writing content and copy and all of this other fun stuff. And when it came to Friday afternoon, my brain just said, I'm really tired. I really just want to stop thinking. I really don't want to be pushed anymore. I really just want to stop. And while I'm excited about the projects that I'm working on and I'm excited about where they're going and the progress that we're making in the same aspect, I honestly just needed a break. So my heart and mind were not in on what I was working on and what I was doing. So that morning, I checked in. I looked at what needed to be done. I worked until noon, and at noon, I closed my laptop. I said, no more. It's not going to happen. You've pushed enough. You've made yourself work enough. You've made enough progress, and right now you're not making any progress, so let's just stop. If you ask me what I did over this last weekend, my response would be something like, let me think. I'm not sure. I know I ate because I had to eat to keep myself alive. And I know that a friend stopped by to say hi. Oh, and I know that I watched a movie because the music is still stuck in my head. I can tell you those things. And yet, I don't remember anything else about my weekend. I know that it was active and restorative. I know that while I didn't force myself to do anything, I gave myself this opportunity of just unstructured time. Have you ever given yourself just that moment, the moment to stop, the moment to say, I'm not going to anymore. I need something a little bit different. We all push and we all work through it and we all know that we've got to get over that next hump and that next hurdle. And yet we end up pushing ourselves a little too far. It's like a little kid and they're sitting at their desk and they're doing all their homework and they're just anxious to move on from the homework and get to go play. They want that break, that moment away, that moment to just stop pushing. My husband and I talk about our elasticity, and it's like a rubber band. So you take all of these things on and you're working, and they're all great things. They're all wonderful things, and they are all making progress in one way or another. No matter what we're doing, we're progressing, right? That's part of life. You are constantly changing and progressing and learning and doing and teaching. And so we have this, you think of a rubber band, and we keep taking all of this stuff on and we keep working and pushing and doing, and the rubber band gets pulled and pulled and pulled. And at some point, that rubber band can no longer be pulled anymore, and it's kind of lost its elasticity. You cannot add another item to that rubber band or it's going to snap. And I think we do that to ourselves often. I think that we just keep saying, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, give me that one. I got it. I got it. I got it. And we keep pushing and we keep pushing and we stop and we forget to give ourselves that moment to check out. Let the rubber band relax. Let the rubber band have a moment to breathe before we go on. So my weekend this weekend was all about giving me the opportunity to breathe, giving me the opportunity to just stop. Stop pushing, stop forcing myself, stop making me do something I didn't necessarily want to do. So I took that backpack of rocks off, all of those things that I had been carrying, and I set it on the wayside, and I enjoyed my weekend. I do remember I read a book this weekend, and at the end of the weekend, I felt refreshed. I felt revived. I felt so good because I had given myself that moment to stop. And then when I woke up on Monday morning, I was inspired. I was inspired to write. I was inspired on course content. I was inspired on tips and changes and new things that I could do here and there and inspirations that I could do with other people. And I felt so much more excited. And I was ready to pick up that entire backpack of rocks and put it back on my shoulders, or ready to pull that rubber band as tight as it could possibly go. And yet I realized as I got ready to do that, that if I did it, if I put every one of those rocks back on at the exact same time, my rubber band was going to be just as extended as it was before. So instead I said, what one thing do I want to work on right now? And what one thing will I work on after that? So I've maintained my elasticity by saying this is a piece of self-care. I am going to consciously and intentionally let myself stop. Let myself say, no. And as I said, it's not that I didn't do anything. It's not that I wasn't active. I cleaned out the treehouse. It was something that had been bothering me for a very long time, and I was annoyed that other people weren't doing it, and yet I had not used my voice and said, could somebody just sweep out the treehouse? So while I was annoyed with everybody else, honestly, it was my own problem, my own fault, because I had not voiced this thing, this frustration. So I had this little frustration building, and when I had no structured time and I could just sit back and enjoy it, I grabbed a broom and I went and I swept out the treehouse, and now that weight is lifted. It was one of the rocks in my box, but now it's gone. My rubber band gets to come in a little bit more. And I removed my own burr from my own saddle because I wasn't voicing that I wanted it done. I just wanted it done and wanted people to read my mind. And yet now here I have a little unstructured time, and I did it myself, and it felt so good. So now I can go hang out in the treehouse, and I got a couple chairs to make it even better up there. So self-care. While we've talked about all of these other activities that self-care is, going and doing, whether it's pottery or running or cooking food, or maybe it's yard work for you, they're all activities. And yet every now and then self-care may be just giving yourself the gift of stopping, giving yourself the gift of letting go. I really hope that you find that moment, that gift, that opportunity for you to just live at peace and joy so that you can live the best life possible. And if that means you stop for a day and say everyone else can just deal with their own stuff, I highly recommend that you do it.
Mm-hmm.